Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my December virtual free card class. It's not virtually free. It is my December free virtual card class for everyone who placed orders of $50 or more in the month of November. I am so glad to be here with you. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I'm coming to you from Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro, and I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 26 years and love what I do. This class is offered every month. So if you purchase in a month, the following month I offer a free card class, and I'll give you details on that in just a couple minutes. But it's open for everybody to watch. So welcome to anyone who's here and joining me today. Now, I send those card kits out, but I realize not everyone has time to pop on when I'm doing them. Sorry, I'm just bringing myself up here. Excuse me. So they are recorded and you can watch them anytime after. Just go up to the media section to my videos and choose today's video. It is such a busy time of year that I'm not sure anyone will pop on today, but if you do, that's wonderful. If you're here, let me know that you're here. I love that. And like I said, if you placed an order last month, a qualifying order, you would have received your kits. You can do them with me today. You can come back and watch this later and do them, or you can just do them however you want. I don't care. They're your card kits as a thank you. But again, this is open to anyone who might be popping on. So I am going to go right down to my table and we're going to get started with our card class today. So hang on while I turn you around. There's my beautiful outdoors, and we're going to come down to the table. I'm going to make sure I am in the right place. And just a brief introduction. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, again, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. You can find me on YouTube under Maureen Rolfes. And I would appreciate it if you would like and follow both my Facebook page and my YouTube page. It helps me out a lot. Just with getting exposure for my business. And you can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. If you're hopping on, I see a couple people are here. Please say hi and let me know you're here. And if you come back and watch on the replay, I would love to know that too. So let me know replay. This is my hostess code for December. If you're purchasing in the month of December and your order is under $150 pre-shipping and handling and tax, please use this hostess code. This is what allows me to have the extras that I can give back to you guys, such as this free class and kits. If your order is over $150, then don't use that code because you will earn some of your own hostess benefits, which is wonderful. This is what we're doing today. It is our free monthly virtual card class. So the class I'm holding right now that you're watching is for orders that were placed in the month of November. This is my next one coming up. So this will be for orders placed in the month of December, and it'll be held on Monday, January 8th, 2024 at 11 Central Time. If you purchase $50 in orders this month, you'll get 3 free card kits. If it's $75 in orders, you will get 3 free card kits plus a bonus project. And if it's $100, you'll get 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of a current embellishment. I only send out 1 kit per person each month, so whatever your highest qualifying order is, that is the kit that you will receive from me. And they go out the first of the month. I hold this class the second Monday of the month, so occasionally those kits might not get to you on time. And if that happens, I apologize, but I have to wait till the end of the month to know how many kits I need and who's all ordered. But they do go out the first of the month, and you will have them close to the time of the class. And when you receive them, you can come back and watch the video and put them together. So far that is working great. I love having these classes. I appreciate all of you who order from me. And this is just my way of thanking you. Okay, so let's do our first card from the kits. So if you received the card kits, this is the first card we are making. I think it is adorable. It uses our holiday cards and envelopes. And darn, I don't remember the exact name of these. I should have looked that up. And I didn't. I did look up that most all of the products we're using today are still available, but I forgot to look up the name of these. So your envelope on these comes already decorated with little snowflakes. And then you will have received the parts for this kit. So we're going to put it together. We're going to be using, I think these are the Merry Christmas Memory and More greeting cards. That's what they are. There's blue ones and red ones in the kit, and they are wonderful bases. They're a little bit larger than our normal cards, no cards that we make. These are 4 1/4 wide, but they are 6 1/4 long rather than the 5 1/2. So it's a really nice size to work with, and they work well with all of our Memories and More kits. The cards and those are sized to work on here. So let me get all my little pieces out. If you ever don't have something, keep tapping your envelope because it could be stuck down in there. And then I did decorate this one just with a little Happy Holidays on there. You can do that or not. That is up to you how you decorate. Stampin' Up! Rules don't allow me to do any of your stamping for you. So your kits will come complete except for adhesive, and you will need to do any necessary stamping. So just be aware of that. And the kits can vary a little bit. So I forgot to emboss my beautiful layer. Darn, and my machine's way across the room. I'm going to put this on non-embossed today, but you will see how different and pretty it is with the embossing. So sorry that I forgot that. I guess I'm a little off today. I thought I was right on, but I'm a little off. Anyway, what I wanted to say about these is your kits can vary. So you can see on this card I made for my original sample, I used this balmy blue and white ribbon. I actually used that spool up while I was making the kits. So then I moved to use some of our sparkly glitter ribbon. The little pieces that are cut out of the Designer Series paper can also vary in their designs, so be aware of that. But the kits are basically coming together the same exact way, and that's what I'm here to show you. So even though I'm sad I didn't emboss this, I want to show you that the ones in the kits were embossed with a Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder right here. I hope I didn't forget anything else today. We'll find out, huh? It is just a beautiful embossing folder, kind of hidden in the mini catalog, so you have to look for it, but it is there. And that gives you this beautiful embossing, like you can see here, hopefully on screen, of the little snowflakes all throughout this picture. When I laid mine on here, I put the dots of snowflakes to the top and just a few scattered ones here at the bottom. You could reverse that, it's reversible, and you could put the more open area to the top and the dots at the bottom, whatever you prefer. But this one isn't embossed, and we're gonna add it anyway so that I can complete this card with you, and it will still look wonderful, just not quite as wonderful. And I am using an old snail that I found in a drawer, but I don't want to use it. I want to use my seal. I found that I liked our snail when we had it. I did when we sold it, but I found so many of mine just quit working, and it didn't have the longevity for sticking. Sometimes it would dry out and things would fall off. So I tend to go with our seal, and we're going to add that to the front of this card, trying to get it as even and straight as I can. Like that. And that's just a piece of Very Vanilla. And then you're going to have 3 small pieces of Designer Series paper. These can either be from the Merry Christmas paper or from the Memories and More cards. I just cut them all up to get them for the kits. You can look at the backs. So this one obviously wouldn't work. Well, I guess it could. It could just say together, Happy Holidays. But I'm going to use the snowflake. And then on this patterned one, you could use either side, but I think I'm going to use the trees. And then on this piece, you're going to want to use the piece that has a polar bear on so that you can see that cute little polar bear. So these are going to come together on the front of my card, just like that. So using some seal. Again, I hope you guys are having a great day. It is a happy Monday here. All is good. We survived the tornado warning of the other night, which was very scary. And my hearts and prayers go out to all the people closer to Nashville that were affected and lost their lives and homes. It was a very, very rough evening. So I'm adding these snowflakes just kind of around in the middle of my card here at an angle for some character. And then next I'm going to take my tree one. But it is a beautiful day here today. A little cool. It's only going to get to a high of 45. That's our coldest day this week. And that's probably why those tornadoes were spawned, because we were warm and then that cold front came through. And I'm going to lay this one also at an angle. And I'm bringing it down just a little bit from the top of this one and over so it's going off the side of my card. Just like that. So there's my trees. You're going to use whatever designs you have and use the side that you like. And then we're going to take my little image of the polar bear here. And I'm going to make him straight. So he's going to come up covering part of each of these pieces. Just like that. But he's going to go straight across, even with the bottom of the card. Just like that. To make that cute little cluster for interest. Now, I love the way this looks, but look how much prettier it is with that added embossing on the back. It really makes a difference. Something as simple as just some dry embossing can change the whole look of your card. Next, we're going to take this piece of Night of Navy, and it is just a strip, and you're going to add it to the front of your card right at the bottom of where your bear image is and centered side to side on the vanilla. So you're going to have an even border on each side of the vanilla. And then you're going to have a piece of Very Vanilla in your kit. And I'm going to stamp this one. Yours won't be stamped. You'll have to find a sentiment to stamp on there. Again, because of the rules from Stampin' Up, which I totally understand, they want you buying the stamps and stamping, and I get that. I'm just going to ink this up with Night of Navy because that's a coordinating color. And it is a red rubber stamp, so I don't need my mat. And I'm going to try to stamp that pretty centered on this piece of paper. Cardstock. There you go. Happy holidays. So that happy holidays sentiment is from the Throughout the Year stamp set. It's kind of hidden in here, but this stamp set has Valentine's and New Year and Halloween and Easter and Christmas and birthdays and just a lot going on. So I'm pulling out the Happy Holidays from here because it worked really nice on this piece of cardstock. And we're going to take this, and I'm also going to add some seal to it. And for this piece, I'm going to layer it on here slightly down so the blue shows above it and slightly over to the right, leaving kind of an even border of blue around the left side and the top, just like that. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, whatever ribbon you have in your kit, and like I said, that can vary, and grab a glue dot on the back of the knot. So these should be pre-tied for you. If you don't like the ribbon you get, you could change it out for something you have on hand. But I tried to use ones that match pretty well. We're going to lay this up in this corner of the Happy Holidays, just like that. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add some of our little adhesive discs. Now, you should have gotten these in your card kits for the cards, but if you placed a $100 order for me, in addition to what was in your kits, you should have received a half a pack of these discs as a gift from me. And I'm going to come in here. I find the easiest way with our flatter embellishments is to use the tip of my snips to pick it up. The best way with like gems or anything else that is raised, I use the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool. So it just varies on what embellishment that you're using. And we're going to add a couple of these little discs also up here onto the card front. Just like that. Now I love that. I think that's really cute, and I will certainly send this out. But I've got to admit, I love it 100% more with the snowflakes embossed on that layer. So really, really cute. That is our first card. Decorate the inside and the envelope however you like, and then make sure to send it out to someone for the holidays. All right, card number 1 is done. Let's go to card number 2. Let me grab all of my pieces here. Okay, so this card is perfect for winter. It's great for Christmas, but it would also be a nice thank you card for after the holidays for a gift, because it's more of a snow scene. Again, the stamping will not be done for you, so you're going to want to pick out a stamp that you can use for your sentiment and then for layering on the back of your card. And then I just repeated that on the envelope. I'm going to put this over here, and we'll grab our pieces for this card. And again, lots of little pieces, so try not to lose them. Now, I would have put your little discs in your envelopes, and they're easy to get lost, so always be careful when you're opening your kits. They'll be in your envelopes. For me, I didn't put them in my envelopes. I just have mine right here in my packet, but just so you know, that is where they should be. I'm not going to stamp my envelope because I just showed you how I will stamp it, and I don't want to bore you with that part. But the first thing we're going to do is take our card base. So this is just a piece of basic white. Fold it in half. I'm going to use my bone folder to crease that. And then I always fold them again. I'll show that for anyone who hasn't seen it before. When you fold that first time, you get a nice seam down here, but you can see all the broken fibers of the cardstock. When I take this and fold it back again and use my bone folder, now when I open it up, I get that beautiful, nice line down the middle of my card. And I just like the way that looks. It takes a couple seconds, and to me, it's worth it to get that look. You don't have to do that. I just do it. So this card is going to go horizontal. And in your kit, you're going to have a piece that is cut out like this. This is going to become a layer on here. This is where I cut out the grid that we're going to use on the front of the card. So that's a great way to save on your card making cardstock, is if you're having a layer covering it and you need something punched out or cut out, go ahead and take it out of that lower layer because it's never going to show. So I'm just going to use some seal on here in my corners, like that. And then we're going to place this on the front of our card centered. So let me do my best to do that. And that will already be cut out in your card kits. This is just if you're making it on your own and following. I'm letting you know how I did that. And it looks like, boy, I really am not prepared. Looks like I missed a layer for here. So let me grab my cutter, because we definitely are going to need that. And a piece of basic white, which I do have handy here. So I am sorry, it's been a busy, busy week for me. I apologize for not being quite as prepared as I thought I was. We're going to cut this white layer at 5 inches. I'll get my little score blade out of the way. And then I'm going to cut it again at 3 3/4, and that's going to give me my layer for this card that I need. 3 3/4, just like that. So that was pretty simple to do. Hopefully I can correct anything I'm missing that easily today. Fortunately, in your kits, hopefully they're there and I didn't miss them. Who knows? It could have been a day. And I didn't want to do that yet. So I put a little glue on there. I'm just going to kind of rub it off with my fingers. That's a nice thing. Actually, the seal does rub off very well if you do it right away. So I want to stamp this first. So I'm going to grab my Pool Party ink and my Winter Greetings stamp. So let me show you where that is from. First, I'll show you the dies. So the dies that cut out that grid and my little snowflakes are from the Chic Dies. This is, again, a great set because it has fall in it, it has summer in it, it has winter in it, it has everything you need. But I'm cutting out this grid with the pool party, and then these three, not that one, where did it go? 3 little snowflakes, this one right here. This one and these 2 for our snowflakes. And then I'm using the sentiment that says Winter Greetings from the Sparkling Snowflakes stamp set. So I'm only showing these to you guys so you have some idea where these are coming from. Sometimes it can be confusing, and I just grabbed from my stash. So I'm letting you know where I picked all of my things from. Now, if you got the kits for this, after this class is over today, you will receive an email from me with the template, with the, the PDF of instructions on how to make all these cards. So that's helpful too, and it has full color pictures. But I'm just going to take the Winter Greetings, and I'm using my mat because it's photopolymer. And we're just going to kind of stamp this over and over. Now you want to ink it up every single time, because everywhere that touches is going to pull ink off, but where it didn't touch, it's going to stay dark. So if I just stamped it again, let me see if I do it here, if I can show you. See how the top of the winter is dark and the rest of it's light? That's what's going to happen. So you want to be sure you ink it up every single time you're stamping on here for this background. And we are just creating a background. Some of these will show, some of them will not, and that is perfectly fine. We're just kind of adding that same little look to the rest of this background there. All right, just like that. And then I'm going to take my small rectangle of basic white, and I'm going to also stamp my Winter Greetings on there. Hopefully getting it centered. Right, just like that. So again, this would be any sentiment that you choose to use on yours. That will be fine, but I am using Winter Greetings from Sparkling Snowflakes. Okay, so we are going to get rid of this mat for a second here. And I'm going to get my seal back out. See, there's a truck out in front of our house. I'm not sure what they're doing. It looks like they might be doing some work on the cabling lines. Hopefully nothing that'll affect my Wi-Fi, right? So hopefully. And I'm going to take this, and then I didn't mention it before, but you always want to be sure that your card is opening the way you want it before you start putting these layers on. And we're going to come in here with this layer. Oh, and I messed up on there too. Sorry, I caught it though. Before we add that layer to the front of our card, we're going to add our ribbon. I should have added this on the blue, and in the instructions, it'll tell you that. But I'm going to take one piece of my pool party ribbon, put it on glue on the back of this card, wrap it around, glue it on the back of the card here, just like that. Now I can add this to my card. And I've shown this trick many times, but I'm going to show it again because I do it nearly every time. I like to use my tearing tape once I've done this and put it right over the top of that ribbon to anchor it on each side. Again, it's an extra step you don't need, but it just assures to me that that's not going to pull out from my card. And then I'm going to burnish it just with my fingernail a little bit so I can pick up the edge of it and pull off that backing. If I was putting this up on dimensionals, I would probably leave the backing on there because I wouldn't want it sticking down on my card. But because I am sticking this right to the card base, I am just going to leave the stickiness there as an extra amount. Okay, now we can add this. So trying not to be distracted this morning. There's a few things going on with our family. We're going to a basketball game tonight for my grandson Xavier, who plays on the 8th grade team, and he'll be going up to high school next year, and it's the 8th grade night. So I'm glad we get to go be a part of that. But just a few things going on that have my mind a little scattered, so I apologize. Next, we're going to take the Winter Greetings, and I'm just going to add that to the layer of Pool Party and center it for my sentiment, so that's ready to go. And we're going to put the front of this card together. So I'm taking my grid that's cut out, And I'm putting, there's a little bit wider side and a little bit narrower side. I'm just putting the narrower, more curved side up. No special reason, I just liked the way that looked. And I'm gonna come in here and add just a little bit of Tombow glue to the back of this. Now, I am not adding a lot. I'm coming down here and putting a few little dots, just enough to anchor it. I'm kind of trying to hide them mainly behind where my snowflake will go. But they may show, I mean, it could be a little bit, but I'm trying not to let it ooze out. Tiny little dabs of Tombow just to get this on my card. That's it, guys. Those 6 little dots are all I'm putting on. And we're going to come in here and I'm going to layer this kind of centered but at an angle across and push down where that glue was up here. So now it's on my card. It's not going to come off, which is what I wanted. I'm not worried about anchoring all the rest of this. What I'm going to do in a minute is take my sentiment and layer it over it so it holds it down here, and then have my snowflakes also help hold it down up here. So for my snowflakes, I'm using glue dots. You're going to have 1 large snowflake and 2 small. And I'm just pushing the center of the snowflake, the back of it, onto my glue dot, and then picking that up. And then I'm going to place this over here, kind of where that opening is, so that my glue dot also anchors this down. And then we're going to take our white one of our tinier ones, and again put that glue dot behind it. So when you have something really frilly like this, I don't always want them glued completely down. I like the feel of it coming up off the page a little bit, but I want to be sure it's not going to come off. So when I place things like my glue dots and my glue, I try to place them strategically where they're going to help hold that down. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'm going to grab some dimensionals here and put them on the back of our sentiment. And because it's a rectangle, I'm going to use 4. I could probably get away with 2, but again, I don't like my cards falling apart when they get to people, so we're going to go with 4. Pull off the backings. If you don't have fingernails, you can use the tip of your snips or the pokey end of your take your pick tool. And we're going to lay this down here. So when I'm laying this now, you'll see I'm centering it between the ribbon and the bottom here, and then giving a little border on the side. But I'm making sure that that one dimensional comes up on top of the grid. So now that grid is completely on there, but yet it has that little bit of lift on the edges. And I like that. That was the look I was going for. We're going to take our last little snowflake, and I'm going to get a glue dot, and I'm going to add this on top of my sentiment down here in the corner. So there's our snowflakes. And then you're going to have another piece of ribbon in your kit. There should be 2 even pieces. I just cut them the same so you don't have to worry about which one's longer for tying and which one's longer for wrapping. So we're going to just wrap this around here, and I'm going to pull it tight into a knot. I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm going to take my snips, and this is my ribbon cutting, not my snips, my ribbon cutting scissors, and I am just going to cut this down like that. Now normally when I make bows, I do them right off the spool so I don't have waste like this, but in card kits I like to make them even if possible, if I have enough, so you don't have to mess with which goes where. So that's the only reason they're even. You wouldn't need that much if you were doing it. For this one, we're going to use our opalescent little white discs. Get rid of my ribbon cutting scissors there for a minute, and I'm just going to pick up 3 of these, and for these I'm placing them right in the middle of my snowflakes. Just like that. Whoops, that one kind of flipped. It's okay, I can pick it up off my finger. Like that. So there is card number 2, Winter Greetings. And like I said, it would be perfect for Christmas, but it would also make a really cute little thank you note for your holiday gifts. So that is card number 2. Halfway done, guys. We're getting there. I like to not go more than like 45 minutes, and I think we will be fine. Okay, card number 3. So card number 3 is a fun fold card. Here's my envelope. It just says, "'Tis the season to be jolly." And then it folds to the side. So it's a horizontal card that folds a little bit to one side like that and has the sentiment crossing over. Your designer series papers may vary on this card, so be aware of that. I just use up what I have. When I run out of one design, I go to another. But you should have a small strip of whatever your large layer is so that you can add that small strip to the inside of your card. Okay, so we're going to put this one together. Here's all of our pieces. I'll get my little notes out of the way. Okay, so for this card, it is a piece of basic red that is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and then it's scored at 2 inches and at 5 1/2 inches. Is that correct? I may have done this one wrong. I think I did do this one wrong. Huh. Boy, I am really off today, guys. I so apologize. I don't know how I did that. But I'm just going to fix it. I'm going to leave that score line, but that is incorrect. So let me grab my cutter and score. So really what it should have been was scored at 2 inches, which it was. Let me come in here and make sure. This first score line is at 2. It was. And then the next one should be at 7 1/2. So we're going to ignore this 5 1/2. Hopefully it'll be pretty much covered up. And hopefully yours are right. I hope I scored them all right. If not, it should be scored at 7 1/2. So I'm going to come in here and score that. Make sure you're using your score blade, which is the lighter color, and not your cutting blade, which is the darker color, which the way my day is going, things like that could certainly happen, right? Okay, so we got that out of the way. So then you're going to take this and using your bone folder, I think yours were right because I think I folded all the ones I sent out. I'm going to fold this over on the 2 inch mark and then again on the 7 1/2 inch mark, just like that. And that's how our card is going to open. Now I have this lovely little crease here that shows a little bit on the back. I'm not really going to worry about it. We're going to cover it in the middle. And it is a homemade card. So if I send this to someone and they don't like that and they let me know, it will probably be the last card they ever get. So there you go. Don't complain, right? Sorry, I got a little bit of a piece of skin here I got to get rid of on my arm. Okay, so for the inside of this card, you're going to have a piece of basic white. And I'm just going to add seal to my corners on here. Now that we got this card base the way we want it to go. And we're going to add this in the middle. So you can see from the inside, that mistake in my scoring is pretty much completely covered up. If someone turned it around and looked at the back side, they would probably notice that faint little line there. But I'm not going to worry about that. And then for this card, my large piece of paper is going to say fa la 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 la. So I have a coordinating strip of that right here, and this is what I'm going to put on the inside. So I'm just going to add some seal to the back of it. This does have a right way, obviously, because this one has letters on it, so I want to be sure they're going the correct way. And we're just going to lay that right along the edge to kind of pull the inside of the card together with the outside. Look at that. This piece is going to be centered on this side. So again, you're just going to use some seal and whatever your larger piece of designer series paper is. If you wanted to put the other side up, I mean, we could have done polka dots. Those would have been nice and bright. But I'm going to do the fa la 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 la. We have Christmas music going here nonstop usually. So all these songs are very much in my head. Okay, so there's that piece. And then for this one, I have the lights. So on here, the big piece was the lights. I happened on this one to have a small piece to go here. I tried to use my designer series paper strategically to get the most out of it. So this is how that ended up. Yours could be totally different images. And they all have a front and back. So you use the side that you like best. I'm going to lay that on there centered, just like that. Look how cute. We're going to grab my mat and the punch you would have received punched out in your kit. And we're going to stamp "'Tis the Season to be Jolly" with Real Red. Now for this one, this sentiment came from the So Very Merry set. That's our stained glass set. It is an online exclusive, so you can only see this when you go online. But definitely look there. It is an adorable set, and I've used it quite a bit. And then I punched the sentiment out using the Lasting Label punch. So that is this one right here. Yeah, it just works good for a little bit larger sentiments like this. I liked it. So we're going to ink this up using my photo polymer stamp. So I'm using the mat underneath it. See if I can get this relatively centered and straight on here. Just like that, 'tis the season to be jolly. And it is. I'm trying to have a really no stress Christmas, and so far, so good. It's all coming together. If I could just resolve all the little bitty issues that come up without stressing about them, I will be successful. So I'm just putting some seal on the back of here, and we're going to center that onto this label. I will give you a tip. I did that. I put that seal on the back when it was on top of this mat, and that does not always work the best. That little give can kind of make the seal act up. So when you're using seal, try to use it on a hard surface. That is what I should have done. So do as I say and not as I do. We're going to add this sentiment to the front of our card. And when I add it, I only want it to stick down on this left-hand portion. And I want it pretty much centered right on that seam. So what I'm going to do is just flip this over bottom to top so that my left-hand side is still the left-hand side that I want. And center it pretty close on that seam. And then I'm going to take my seal and we're going to add some seal just on that left-hand side so that it doesn't go over onto the other side of my card. And then I'm going to flip it back and layer it on here. And by doing that, you're pretty much assured that your adhesive will be where you want it. Let's just push that down. And now when I open it, you can see there's no adhesive showing. It's stuck down to that flap, and then this one right here, just exactly the way I wanted it. I'm going to use a piece of Real Red ribbon. I think everyone got Real Red ribbon, but there were a couple different spools I used, so yours might be slightly different than this one. It'll work though. I'm going to add a glue dot to the back. And we're going to come in here and stick this up in this corner so it doesn't cover my sentiment, just like that. And then you're going to have 3 red little discs in your kit. And you can place those wherever you want onto your card front. I'm just putting them right up here on the sentiment layer, like that. There we go, guys. Card number 3 is done. Stinking cute. When you're done with this, you'll have several more holiday cards you can send out. And then the final project is our bonus project. So for this month, it's also a gift card holder. We did one last month, but this is a little different. And I wanted to show you a couple different ideas for gift card holders because 'tis the season, right? So this is just a belly band holder. The belly band slides off and then this opens up. You can stamp whatever you want on this layer. And then there's a spot right here, and it does say bad because this is a bad card. It doesn't work. But I use it for an example. It slips right in there like your gift cards would. Now you could also fold money in half and put it in here, and that would fit. And I know for my grandkids, money, gift cards, that's the way to go. So that is in there, and I'm going to show you how this comes together. So you're going to have all the pieces in your kit. Again, colors can vary a little bit. Designer series paper can vary, but you will have all these pieces. So this is a piece of Cherry Cobbler. It is 4 1/4 by 7, and it is scored at 2 inches and 5 inches. The part that has this little divot out was cut out with actually I think it was cut out with the cloud punch. I just used the edge of the cloud to get that little divot in there because we don't actually have a small circle like that. You could use a small die if you wanted that was a circle, and that would work. And I'm just going to come in here and we're going to place tear and tape. Now you could use Tombow glue here. I think if you use seal, you might even still have enough room, but you want to be sure the open part is wide enough to fit a gift card. And I like the tear and tape for this because it's thinner than the seal and it's very strong. So once it seals down, you know this is going to stay shut. And on something like a gift card holder, that's what we're looking for. So we're just going to burnish this with the bone folder. I'm going to take my snips and run it right along the side very gently and pick up the paper backing and pull that off. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And actually, I'm going to pick it up from the other end, and I'll show you why in a second here. So we're going to pick it up down here and pull it off. And the reason I did that is because when I tore that, you can see it was a little longer than I needed. So I'm just going to take that glue that went over the end and push it right back on top, just like that, so it doesn't show on the front at all. And then we're going to put this down like that and seal it, okay? So that now is our gift card pocket. Let's see if I have another card here. I think I do. Another sample to show you how this will just fit in there perfectly like that, and then you have enough room. So if you did seal, you'd probably want to just do the edges and not the full width of the seal, and then fold it back over, or be a little careful with that. Or maybe Tombow glue would be the way to go to keep a small little edge on here. But I love the tear and tape. If you have it, that is the way to go. And then you're going to have 2 pieces of designer series paper. Again, they vary. On here I have the stripes and the flowers. On here I have this kind of flower and wood. It's the same paper, background and front, so I can decide on my card, do I want that wood grain on the bottom and then my floral on the top, which is how I think I will go with this. But you could also flip it and do the wood grain on the top and that more floral image on the bottom. And that would work too. But I'm going to put the wood grain on the bottom, and I know that this is the piece for there because it also has that little divot cut out of it. And I want the wood grain showing, so I'm going to put my seal on the back side of this. Just kind of around the edges to hold this down on there. I'm not doing just the corners just because it is a gift card holder and will be manipulated a little bit. I don't want it to come apart. And then I am taking this and making so that divot fits exactly against the previous one. And doing that is going to make it pretty centered on that bottom piece of your card like that. Okay? Then we're going to take this one and I'm going to put my seal on the back of here. Got a decent amount because I want this to stick down on there. And this is going to go up here on the top part of this card. Just like that. I think it's so, so cute. And then, like I said, this is going to go here on the inside. On the previous one, I stamped a little bow, but this is really for you to write your sentiment to the recipient, you know, wishing them your wishes. So you can stamp it or not as you please. But I can't stamp it for you, as I mentioned several times, so you will need to stamp it with something that you have on hand. And we're going to center this one, hopefully, up here on the top. Just like that. So now you have a place for your sentiment. And then in your kit, you have a belly band. This belly band is 1 inch wide by 7 inches long, and it's scored at approximately 1.5 and 3 7/8. So when I score a belly band, I usually take my item and have it all ready. And then I actually, if I have it, will put in the gift card or a piece of candy or whatever I think I'm going to have in there, I will put that in so I know how thick this is going to be. Then I take my cardstock and I gently wrap it around, and that gives me an idea of where my score lines will be. And then I score them, because I always want this to be large enough that it's going to move back and forth easily and be able to be taken off easily. So that's something to think about when you're doing your belly bands. But yours are pre-scored and they should work just fine. And then what I'm going to do, you can see these overlap like that. Actually, I'm going to come this way. So the top one overlaps the bottom one by maybe 5/8 of an inch. What I'm going to do is take my seal, and on the bottom one, I'm going to add some seal right here to the top of it at the very bottom. And then on this top one, I'm going to add some seal to the part that's on the back. So when I fold this up evenly, it actually gets double glued, once from the bottom and once from the top, and that makes it very strong and sturdy on your packaging. And then I'm going to slide this right on top of there, like that. How cute. I love the way it looks. We're going to grab the little oval. So this little oval and the larger scalloped oval are from the double oval punch, and I pre-punched those for you. And the sentiment that we're using on here is the Merry Christmas from the Cottage Wreaths. So this tiny little Merry Christmas, actually all four of these sentiments work great with this oval punch because they're just the right size to stamp on there. So we're going to take the Merry Christmas and Cherry Cobbler ink, because that matches the cardstock I have on here. If you had Real Red ink, you could use Real Red, but I also did, this one in Real Red, but stamped the sentiment in Cherry Cobbler. It still looks good. They're Christmas colors. They go well together, so don't stress too much about that. Or you could use one of the greens. That would work also. Just going to stamp my Merry Christmas on there with the Cherry Cobbler. And then I'm going to grab a piece, my scalloped piece. So this is, one is with Garden Green. Yours might be with a different color. I tried to coordinate them to whatever colors of cardstock you received. And here I'm doing it again on here. So you can see it just kind of pushes in with the glue, and it's not best to do on top of a mat. I do it all the time because I don't think of it, but sometimes it does cause me trouble. So we're going to center this Merry Christmas right on that scallop of green, like that. And then I want this on my gift card holder, and I want it to cover up that seam. But I don't want glue on the edges because I don't want it to stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down, right down the center of this scallop, like that, with my glue. 2 times, that should hold it. I'm going to center it onto my belly band, and then it should slide perfectly with no problem. So that is our little gift card holder. So yay, I hope you guys like these projects. To get your projects for the January class, you need to place an order in the month of December. Your $50 order from me would get you the 3 cards. So let me show you those again, just so you know what I'm talking about. I'll show you the ones that we did today rather than the ones I started out with. So it would have been this card, and this card, and this card. That's the kits that you would have gotten with a $50 order. For January, it'll be 3 new cards. So they will be fun, I promise. And then with a $75 order, you get the bonus project. So this month it was a gift card holder, and that was that. And then if you placed a $100 order, you would have received a half a package of these adhesive discs from the mini catalog. I'm not sure these are still available. These may have sold out. I'm not sure. I love them because I love flat embellishments and how easily they go through the mail. It was 4 colors. It was red and pink and blue and green. I'm just not sure, like I said, if they are still available or not. I forgot to look at that this morning. But they are lots of fun. We'll have more fun things coming in the future. Always, if you can, look for the flatter embellishments if you mail a lot of cards, because they make it just that much simpler to mail. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I will send out an email with the link to this video to everyone that earned a kit from me, as well as attach the PDF of the instructions for this. If you want to earn next month's kit, place your order by December 31st. I thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye.